Hey guys, just want to start by clarifying a couple of things because we know this is going to be a bit of a delicate one. So first of all, we know some people in Japan who lead some very interesting lives and do lots of interesting things, and every time we see them they've just finished doing something interesting, traveling somewhere or doing something fun. So we do know people in Japan who do that. However, the majority of the people that we know here don't. So as always, our videos are not meant to be criticisms of anything or anyone or any place or anything at all, but they're just observations, and this is something that we have observed fairly regularly, and has come up in previous videos a little bit. But this last week has just been the first week after the winter holidays, so people who work would have had a lot of them would have had 5 or 7 days holiday. The school kids and university students and so on would have had a couple of weeks holiday. So people have just come off their holidays. So this last week we've been seeing people and saying, how are you and what have you been doing? How was your holiday? What did you do? And the majority of them did nothing at all. So the standard answer is maybe. Usually, if you sort of ask a couple of questions, most people went to their family home for New Year's Day. So we've talked about that before. You guys know about that. So that's quite normal. And sometimes the family home, the grandparents' home, or whoever's home it is nearby, or maybe it's in another prefecture and they have to travel to get there. There's a bit of that going on, and there always is for New Year. So a lot of people did that. And then, okay, what else did you do? And for most of them, the answer was nothing at all. So there were a couple of people we know that went skiing and did some fun things. But the majority, the vast majority, the biggest majority of people just didn't do anything. And they'll sort of tell you they slept or something. And some of you might have seen a video we made a while ago called Hardship and Suffering, about how it's sort of like a goal, or it's sort of the popular image in Japan is to give this image that your life is hard and full of hardship and suffering, and it's sort of like that, and to spend time doing leisurely things or talking about doing leisure things is just not sort of part of the culture. Everybody's sort of focused on how hard their lives are. So we spoke recently on a video about how everybody says they're tired. How are you? It's karata. I'm tired. And everybody says that. The adults and the kids. I'm tired. And it's just giving this impression that, my life is hard and all I do is work and I'm tired. And so that's sort of the focus. So when it comes to leisure time, very few people are focused on actually doing anything fun or interesting, or it just doesn't seem to be creativity. There's a lot of kids in our family, and there's neighbourhood kids and friends of our kids, and there's kids everywhere, and we see kids all the time. So we're often talking to kids about stuff, and for them too this week we've been saying, hey, how are you? What did you do in the holidays? Oh, nothing. And well, what did you do? You must have done something. What did you do? Played games, played Switch. Everybody likes playing Switch. Played Switch. What else did you do? Watch TV. What else did you, went to grandmother's house. So I went to grandmother's house for New Year's Day. So that's the standard answer for the kids. The older kids, what did you do? Juku. Went to Juku. They all go to Juku. Well, there's a Juku that we drive past all the time, and you can see into the Genkan in the entrance, and it was absolutely full of shoes. We drove past it during the holidays, and the Genkan was full of shoes. Everyone was there at Juku, doing their study, doing their homework. Actually, most of them aren't. We have a friend who owns a Juku, and we go visit him sometimes when we're going past where he is. We'll drop in for a visit, and they're sitting around looking at their smartphones. The kids are sitting around looking at their smartphones and talking, and they go to the convenience store and get food and come back and eat. And again, it's that some of you might have also seen a video, reality, what do we call it? Image, reality and illusion or something. And it's the same thing. See, they go off to Juku and sit at Juku for 6 hours or something, and their parents are happy because they've spent the day at Juku. But the reality is that, you know, a lot of them do very little study at Juku. They sit there and they play with their smartphones and talk with their friends and go to the convenience store and buy food and come back and sit there and eat it and faff around, you know, and not a lot of study gets done by most of them. You know, they have classes, and some university student is the teacher and stands out the front and talks, and the kids, half of them just aren't even listening, and, you know, they'll sleep on the desks, and they do whatever they want, because basically the way the Jukus see it is the kids are actually customers. So the teachers usually don't discipline the kids, they just let them do whatever they want, because the kid's the customer. If the kid doesn't like the Juku and stops going there, tells the parents they don't like it and stops going there and goes to another one, that Juku, because they're all privately owned, they're businesses, you know, and they're run like a business. So the kids just go and hide at Juku all day. So what did you do? I went to Juku, I did homework. That's the other thing too. During the winter holidays and the summer holidays are longer, the winter holidays are shorter. But during the winter holidays and the summer holidays, the teachers give the kids lots of homework usually. And usually it's just boring, repetitive stuff. It's nothing really, mostly it's nothing terribly useful. A lot of it's just repetition. Then once they've done the first 100, you know, the next 500 are all pretty much the same and sort of doesn't do them much good at all, really. So, again, this isn't supposed to be criticism, this is just observation. This is observation when an elementary school student shows you their homework and it's just this big wad of math that's all the same, where you know, well, they got the first 20 right, so, you know, the next 500 are probably going to be right as well. And a lot of benefit in doing that. Or the English homework's even funnier. Sometimes our family members, nephews and nieces and so on, will show us their English homework because, you know, we know about such things. And it'll just be, again, just writing it out. Violin, write violin 50 times, and then write guitar 50 times, and write, just, again, repetitive, not really good for anybody, really. So, you know, but again, it's not the homework or the Juku that's stopping people doing anything fun. It's just that they don't think about it. They don't seem to think about it. Before the holidays, we did a bit of the same. You know, what are you going to do in your holidays? Oh, I'll go to grandmother's house. And that's about it. You know, that's the kids. And then the adults are the same. The adults are the same, you know. What did you do during the holidays? I went to the family home, you know, Jika. Jika, it is the family home, and it's sort of usually the grandparents' house or the, you know, the family home, and the parents will say the same thing. Went to the family home for the New Year's Day lunch, you know, and what else did you do? Sleeping. You sort of get the impression sometimes that the reason that people are going on about being tired all the time, it's almost like they're bored. You know, a lot of the time that I'm tired answer is just automatic and they're not really thinking about it. They're just saying it, you know, automatically. I'm tired. Because, you know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 17-year-old kid, I'm tired. Really? You know, why? And even if you know they haven't done anything, I mean, some of our friends and family, we know what they've been doing all day because we've been there, or, you know, we know what they've been doing. The 17-year-old slept till 10 o'clock in the morning and then hasn't done anything except eat lunch, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you say, how are you? I'm tired. It's just an automatic response. And sometimes you get the impression that it's just boredom, that they're bored. You know, some of you guys might feel the same. If you don't have something to look forward to, if you're just doing the same monotonous stuff day after day, month after month, year after year, and you don't have something to look forward to, even if it's not a big thing, just something to look forward to that you're going to be doing that's fun, then you do tend to get bored, and then you sort of get a bit flat, don't you, you know? And in contrast, there's a couple of people that we do know. There's one family in particular that we do know that's got mother, father, and son is 13, and a couple of girls, 10 and 11, and those guys do stuff, you know. They go skiing and they they go down to Okinawa to go snorkeling, and they go to Hawaii, and they go places, those guys, they do lots of things. And then just around locally, they go places and do things too. They go over to the next town to have barbecues, and those guys do stuff, and they don't do the I'm tired thing. When we see them, the parents and the kids, they're always sort of up. They sort of up. You say to them, how are you? Oh, great, And they're high achievers. Those kids, play classic piano to a really high level, and they're really, really high achievers at school, and, they get it all done. But they have lives, they do stuff. And the parents too. Both the parents are professionals. Both of them work, mother and the father work, and they're both professional people. But they just take the time to do stuff. So when they have holidays coming up, they think about it and plan something and do something, and they go places and do fun things, and they've got interesting lives, And then as part of that sort of life and part of that cycle, then you don't get that flat thing, oh, I'm tired from them. None of them do that. The kids don't do that, and the parents don't do it either. How are you? Good. Good. What have you been doing? Oh, we went skiing, and we did this and we did that, and we went here and we went there, and they're sort of interesting people, but they're really in the minority. Those of you who live here, some of the people who watch our videos live in Japan, and those of you who live here will be nodding your head to this, because it's across the board. It really is across the board that they're just sort of flat. It's just sort of like it's part of the culture that there's this hardship and suffering and work and hard life thing is sort of considered to be good. And the leisure time, having fun thing is just not something that people give a lot of thought to. They just don't give a lot of thought to it. They watch a lot of TV over the New Year holiday, over that winter New Year holiday. There's a lot of marathon TV on, and we talked about recently about that show where they which is the $500 steak and which is the $5 steak, and they a lot of them watch that, and they'll say, oh, we watched that. And the other one's the Batsu thing. Well, I'm watching you. Let's let me deal with this guy for a second. Pay attention. The other one's the Batsu thing. Is another TV show that's a 24-hour game show where the guys, if they laugh, they get hit with a rubber baseball bat, plastic baseball bat, and that goes for 24 hours, and a lot of them watch that as well. And that'll be one of the high points. What did you do during the holidays? Went to the grandmother's house? What else did you do? Watched Batsu, what's it called? Can't remember what it's called, Batsu something. And it's just a game show on TV that goes for 24 hours. So actually, it's not played on TV for 24 hours. The actual game goes for 24 hours, and then they cut it down and put it on TV for 8 hours or something ridiculous like that. And it is actually mildly amusing, but you don't want it to be the high point of your holiday. It's just... And this isn't... The reason this has come up is just because this week, everywhere we've gone this week, and everyone we've spoken to, what did you do? Nothing. Nothing. And it's not just the holidays either, it's the rest of the year. It's a mistake here to ask people what they did on the weekend. It's hard because some of us come from cultures and from countries where it's a natural question on a Monday, isn't it? You see someone on the Monday, hey, what'd you do on the weekend? Or you see them on a Friday, what are you going to do on the weekend? It's sort of a natural thing that some of us do, isn't it? But here, it's sort of depressing. If you do it on a Monday, what did you do on the weekend? Nothing. Juku, club's the other one. Club, they go to club, the school kids go to club, music club and sports club or whatever, every day, every day. And again, this isn't the reason that they're not doing fun things. I mean, the impression that you'll get from some people is they're so busy, they don't have time to do anything fun. But that's not true. That's very, very rarely true. And the example we gave you of the people who do have fun proves that. Because one of them's a doctor, the lady's a doctor, and the guy's an accounting guy in a big, high-level guy in a big company. So both of those are very, very busy professional people, and their 3 kids are all high achievers that are really, really busy too. But they always find time on the weekend to have fun. They always find time in their holidays to have fun. So that illusion, that image that you get given that people are too tired to have fun is just nonsense, or too busy to have fun. That's just nonsense. You know, in 99.9% of the cases, that's rubbish. You know, it's just an illusion that people like to give. So it's sort of a cultural thing. It's just the way it is. It's just this, you know, some of us come from cultures where, you know, Australia, for example, you know, Australian people are always looking at ways to relax and have fun and enjoy themselves, and they're quite proud of it. You know, whatever that might be, whether that's lying on their back watching sport all day on the weekend, you know, and they'll proudly tell you, what did you do on the weekend? Nothing. Lay on the sofa all weekend and watch sport. But they're proud of that because, you know, how clever am I to have such a relaxing weekend? Or, you know, we went and climbed a mountain and camped on top of a mountain, or we went out here or we went out there, or I went fishing, or I did this or I did that. You know, the way some of the people think in some of our countries and some of our cultures is your leisure time and what you do in your free time is really, really important, isn't it? That's our lives. What do we say in English? We say we don't live to work, we work to live, right? So a lot of us see it that the only reason we work is to give us the money to live so we can go and do fun things and enjoy our lives, right? Whereas here, the work and the study and that's it for most people here. That's their whole life. So it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And you know, the longer you live, a lot of these things that we make videos about like this, probably to somebody who comes here for a week or a month or a year, probably wouldn't be something that they'd notice terribly much or think terribly much about, probably. But when you live here, you know, forever, this is the constant thing. How are you? It's karata. I'm tired, you know. And particularly from younger people, you know, and particularly when you know that it's someone who's not particularly busy. I'm tired. You know, what you do on the weekend? Nothing, you know, nothing. Or worse still, something that's not, you know, someone will say, you know, what'd you do on your holidays? Oh, pizza party. Oh, pizza party, very good. How many people? Two? Oh, okay. So that girl and her friend made a pizza, right? And so they call that a pizza party. So maybe just two of them, or maybe three of them. Pizza party or noodle party. And that's actually two answers we got this week. What did you do on your holidays? Noodle party, you know. Noodle party. Oh, how many people? 3. So just 3 people got together and ate noodles. And that was a noodle party. You know, it's like, somebody else, because before we make these videos, we always sort of kick them around a bit between ourselves to sort of get some different ideas on it and different perspectives on it, and talk to a few people and gently ask a few people. It's very hard to get an outside perspective from the inside, of course. But one guy actually said, because it was sort of boring, I don't know, sort of boring, the word boring came up, and he actually said simple, which is probably another way to look at it, is that the way people would probably see their lives here is just being simple, that they don't do anything except, you know, the same routine. There's another family just came to mind where it's just the same routine. You ask the boy what he did, he plays Switch. You ask the girl what she did, she watches YouTube, including my videos, by the way, but you know, she watches YouTube and she watches music videos mostly. So, you know, you ask her, she's a teenager, what did you do on your holidays? Watched YouTube videos, you know, music videos, Japanese J-pop stuff. Ask the boy what he did. I played Switch, you know. The father sleeps, and the mother just does whatever she does. She does a lot of domestic stuff, you know, and that's it. And they're always the same, those guys. They don't go anywhere. They don't seem to go anywhere. They don't go to restaurants. They don't do anything. They just eat at home, and they just, you know, if they want to eat something, pizza or Italian or something else, something Mexican or something, she makes it at home, and that's just what they do. They just spend all their time at home. So, you know, our man said, simple life, which is probably a more diplomatic way to put it. Usually videos, we know when we make videos like this that they're really unpopular with some people. Some people hate videos like this. They don't like it because they think it's critical or it's negative or it's something that they don't like. They don't want to hear it, you know. But again, all we really do is make videos about what we see and we hear, and it's really hard not to make a video on this topic because we see it and we hear it every day. If we leave the house, oh, just lost the front camera again, don't know why that keeps happening, but if we leave the house for any reason and talk to anybody, this will come up. Because inevitably you say, how are you? And they say, skarata. And, you know, we've just finished the holiday, so when people see each other now, they're saying, Akimashito omedetou gozaimasu, Happy New Year. And then it's the natural next question, isn't it? How was your holidays? What did you do? Nani mo nai, nothing. Nothing, you know. Oh, Jika, went to the family house. Went to the family house and saw the family, you know. And that's it. So, anyway, again, just repeating again, you watch any of these videos, you watch the dislike button on any of these videos, it always ends up with lots of dislikes. People really don't like videos like this. But again, you know, if we don't tell you everything that we see, if we only tell you the vending machines and the cool stuff, I mean, it's much easier to make videos about the cool stuff. Because we know when we see something cool, like the popcorn vending machine, it's like, the guys are going to love this. Everyone loves that. You don't get any dislikes on a video like that, because everybody likes a video like that. It's like, another cool thing in Japan. So we love making videos like that, and everybody seems to like watching videos like that. But for us, if that's all we do, we're not telling you the whole thing, the whole picture, are we? You know, it's like being in love. You know, people that have only been in love for a week with someone, you know, and they tell you, what's the guy like? Oh, he's perfect. He's just perfect. And, you know, that we don't want to be like that about Japan, where we only tell you the stuff that you're going to like and it's going to warm and fuzzy stuff. We want to try and paint the whole picture. And this is what we see with this. You know, there's probably different ways to look at it. We consider it to be lots of boring lives because that's the impression that we get. You know, a lot of it just seems boring in the way it's told. It's karata, I'm tired, and I did nothing. It just comes across as really boring. But, you know, our man said he sees it as simple. Okay, well, that's probably a better way to look at it. And if you guys came and lived here forever, you'd probably have your own way of describing it, you know. But inevitably you'd notice this, probably. If you come from another culture or another country where people see leisure time differently and work differently. They see work in a different way and they see leisure in a different way. You know, the work to live, not live to work thing. Work to live to work. Work to live, not live to work. Whereas here it's the opposite. It's hard not to notice that. It's really hard not to notice that. You know, and you wouldn't find too much more different approaches to that than the Australian approach and the Japanese approach. We always tell our friends here that we think Australian people could teach the Japanese people how to relax and Japanese people could teach Australian people how to work harder. And again, generalisations, not always the case. Some Aussies work really, really, really hard and some Japanese people are really good at relaxing, as we've explained. So there's always exceptions, you know, but generally, that's the way it is. Big generalisations again. Anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.